Major food shortages at Walmart. Let's discuss. I don't know what's going on, but the word is out, guys. The word is out. A lot of Walmarts are struggling to get in products. Now, I don't know what is going on, but there are some major shortages. Some that we have suspected, like canned goods and stuff like this. I've been going to Walmart for the last month and a half, and I've noticed some pretty big gaping holes in pasta, different breads, different spices has been probably number one. I mean, whatever it is, whatever's happening, they're not getting in spices. It just doesn't seem like they're able to fill the shelves. They're getting in the great value, but they're getting so many of the same thing. Like they'll have like 7 rows of onion powder, and then even at that, as being pulled forward, there's really not much can be wiped out in a day. Now, I've said in previous videos that, well, maybe they have it in the back and they just fill it as they go along. Doesn't seem to be the case anymore as we continue to get a lot of comments of some major shortages at Walmart. Someone left me an email the other day saying that their eggs were very low. They only had a couple things. Sent me a photograph. Eggs were pretty wiped out. Now, I know eggs have been getting cheaper. They've been pretty expensive over the last couple months, but they're starting to come down a little bit. Do I think that has anything to do with it? I don't know. I really don't know, guys. But I will say canned goods is another one. At least I'm going to first talk some about what I've noticed. Okay, what I've noticed at our Walmarts around here. Spices being number one. Canned goods, another issue. Canned vegetables. And it's not just Great Value. It's Del Monte. We saw in a video a couple trips ago when I went that Goya beans and everything was completely wiped out. Now, they have refilled it, not to the extent of what we've seen in the past. Sugar has been an issue at our Walmart, as to where they did start getting the 10-pound bags back in. But I don't know. We've seen prices go up on things. We saw prices go up on beans just a few days ago. They went up again. They were 78 cents, now 82, or they were 82 cents and now 86 cents a can. And they were very low. Now, some of the comments we've been getting from some of our videos have been the same items. Okay, now I would think, that if it wasn't a massive issue, then it wouldn't be so many stores across the country. Okay, we're seeing where a lot of the stuff that is missing at our Walmart is missing at other Walmarts as well. Another thing I wanted to mention too is some of the produce. Been getting a lot of comments lately that people who've been buying produce at Walmart have had either bad taste or no taste at all. Okay, now I don't really buy produce at Walmart just because of that reason. Plus, Walmart produce really hasn't been that good of a price. And a lot of the things, like when you start looking through the different potatoes and stuff like that, you'll find some pretty bad looking ones. Okay, now, if you search it out, if you look around, you can find a good batch. I will say they had some good looking grapes, they had some good looking strawberries, and some of the other produce looked okay as well. The corn looked good, the watermelon looked good. However, we had 2 of our viewers on the channel say that they bought a watermelon. I think they were down to $4.68. That they had bought a couple different watermelons and that they were bad. They did not taste good. So take that for what you will. But yeah, we don't traditionally buy meat or produce at Walmart for that reason. Now, I know viewers on the channel who buy their meat at Walmart and they say they absolutely love it. That's fine. Some of the prices on meat at our Walmart are ridiculous. They're ridiculously overpriced. So it's hard to really justify buying a piece, a steak or something at Walmart, knowing that I could find it cheaper somewhere else and not have to worry about the quality as much. Or if I'm going to spend the same amount of money, hence like at Meijer or somewhere, which Meijer has been cheaper than Walmart on steaks and hamburger and stuff like that. So, but as far as the shortages go, I do think that in the future we need to start planning for these things. We need to make sure that we are, one, as I always say, buy up the sales as you see them. All the things that you use, everything that you put in your pantry, when you find them, even maybe not worry so much about the price, because this is becoming an issue, especially with Walmart. And we'll go into Aldi here in a few minutes, okay? Because there's some issues with Aldi as well. And I wonder if I'm starting to wonder if this is because Walmart and Aldi won't pay a certain price for products, and maybe these manufacturers or people who are the deals they're working out, maybe the contracts, maybe they're not working out the deals that Walmart or Aldi want. Right, that could be an issue too, and we may eventually see a lot of this stuff go pretty high up in price. Now, I've kind of theorized, okay, and I'm not 100% on this, okay? This is really just my opinion right here, my thoughts. Okay, I think somewhere around mid to late July, probably more mid-July, I think we're going to see some huge increases on different canned products, canned vegetables, canned goods. I think we're going to start to see ones that are traditionally very cheap. I think we're going to see those go up pretty high. So take that for what you will. Again, I've been doing this for a long time now, and I just kind of feel like it's coming. I feel like it's coming. We're seeing shortages of these things, but we're seeing it in a way to where it's like usually when something like this happens, either it goes away for good or it comes back at a higher price. Now, I had feared for a second, okay, just a second, that maybe Great Value vegetables are on their way out. Maybe Happy Harvest vegetables are on their way out. They very well could be. Again, just my opinion. Do I think they're really going away? Probably not. Okay, but it's either they're going to get the right price for them or they're going to do something else. Okay? So, I mean, because Walmart, Aldi, all these stores, all these superstores know about how much we're going to pay to come into their store. You know, they're looking at other stores. They're looking at like the different rates of how many people are buying Kroger vegetables. I'm sure they all have like professionals that are looking into this. Because, yeah, if you get those prices up to where they are at like Kroger or Publix or some of these other places where their canned vegetables are pretty high, right around the dollar mark, well, you know, Walmart or Aldi's not going to want to do that because they know that you could just go get these things at Kroger or Publix or wherever. So, with all of that in mind, I say this. Nothing has changed. Stock up on the sales as you see them. Different things that you love. Might be a good idea to stock up on some of these other things as well. Sugar's been an issue. Don't let it become a big issue to where it's gone again and you can't find any. Okay, if you do a lot of baking, you may want to get some extra sugar. Maybe get like a big container, something to put it in, something to stow it away for a little while. Even with flour. I think flour is going to be the next issue. Why? There's been no sales. There's been no sales on flour at all. And I'm not talking about you see a quarter off or something. Okay, you see a quarter off of flour or something, that's not a sale. In my opinion, that's not a sale at all. Okay, so, and spices, not seeing many sales on spices. Sometimes we'll see sales on Kroger spices, those little canned ones that are like way overpriced, where you buy 2, you get 3 free. Or I'm sorry, you buy 2, you get 1 free. I was thinking of the pop there for a second, which that sale probably won't be around till next Christmas. But the spices are becoming less and less on sale. Okay, so what you can find at Walmart, you know, and let me know, is this just me? But a couple of the spices that we've gotten of the Great Value haven't been that good. I feel like they're overly refined. Like everything is very powdery. And no, I'm not talking about garlic powder. I'm talking about like different salts and stuff that are almost like, I don't want to say wet or they've been wet, but it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. I know that a lot of the Great Value spices that we have gotten over the last year or so really haven't been that great. Okay. Again, just my opinion. I'm no chef or anything, but as a matter of fact, I'm sure chefs aren't using Great Value spices anyway. But it's stuff to get by, stuff to flavor things, you know, as we go along, as we're finding these different, you know, we are finding different sales on chicken, right? How that price is coming down, I have no idea. You know, we seen chicken skyrocket for a while. Now we're finding all kinds of great deals on chicken. Now we saw where Meijer, their sales getting a little worse off, but they did have that 99-cent sale not that long ago, like a week or 2 ago, on the drum legs. I hope people were able to stock up on some of those. And then we have Aldi, where they have their 99-cent chicken on sale, drum legs. Aldi Savor Deal, 99 cents a pound. And then when that sale's over, it's going up to $1.19 a pound. So still cheaper than what the regular price was a couple months ago. So if you got some extra freezer space, might be a good idea to buy up some of this chicken. And at the same time, you may want to make sure that you've got whatever spices, and if you can wait, or if you go along, you go to the store and they don't have it, I wouldn't freak out over it, right? I would just keep an eye out for these things as you go along. Like if you're down to like half, salt and pepper too, guys. If you're close to almost being out of salt or pepper, I would go ahead and buy yourself a thing of salt. Get a big thing of salt, if you can find it. Right now, they did have Morton's salt at our Walmart the last time I was there, but before that, it's been a couple trips for me at Walmart where they didn't have any Morton's salt. And it's the same price there. That's how you know there's an issue. Look at the price at Walmart. It's $1.67. I've seen it for $1.69 most other places. I even saw it for $1.65. Where was I? Might have been Meijer. I'm not really too sure. I did see it for $1.65 somewhere. I was shocked because it was cheaper than Walmart. But at the same time, they do have, you can find Aldi salt. They were 64 cents. I think they might be 69 cents now. Everything's going up. Everything continues to go up. I did a live show last night. Someone asked if they thought, or if I thought prices were being leveled off, or if we were meeting a line of prices not going up. I don't think so. And if it does seem that way, don't be fooled. It's gonna keep happening. It's gonna keep happening until there's a balance. I feel like there's no balance in everything right now. Rent is going up everywhere. Housing prices are going up everywhere. There's been no sign that that's going to come down anytime soon. Car prices, as to where they're not getting more expensive, is what some people have been saying, that they've kind of leveled off. They're not getting any cheaper either. And for what it's gone up over the last 2 years, they are still unaffordable. As to where a lot of grocery prices are getting that way as well. We see places like Dollar Tree, that are adding different things. Haven't added these kind of things in our Dollar Tree yet, but we are seeing different things of shrinkflation now in major grocery stores. We've noticed it with coffee. We saw where Green Mountain and Donut Shop, they have shrunk their size. They've shrunk the size of the different Keurig cups to 10 instead of 12. Used to be 12. Saw it on sale for $5.99. I was like, oh, that's a good deal. Oh, wait a minute. There's only 10 in there. Only 10. So that's 2 you're not getting now. Also with the Maxwell House, I believe it was like 27 ounces of the regular Maxwell House that we saw with the advertising change at Meijer. Today, if you saw that video today, I put that out this morning. And I had remembered that the canisters before that they were selling at Meijer, which they didn't have any, were 30.6 ounces, I believe. I didn't put that in the video, but I remembered that number. So, I don't know that with the new whenever you see new advertising, I always say look for that, because chances are it probably shrunk in size. So you want to pay attention to all these little things. That way, if you find an original one, now if you find a Maxwell House canister for 30.6 ounces, the original roast, for some of the same price, or like the same price of what it still is, I would be buying them up. I'm not a huge fan of Maxwell House, but I know thousands and thousands of you guys are. I would recommend buying that up, because what's going to happen next, now that we've seen it, now that Pandora's box of Maxwell House has been unleashed, okay, it's going to start to go up everywhere. This is what we see with everything. We saw it happen with Folgers at Sam's Club. What happened? The price went up on their 51-ounce canisters of Folgers, right? The prices went up. Then what happened? Like a couple months later, they let that sit there. Everybody's like, well, everything's going up. What happened? It shrunk down in size to 43.5 ounces. 43.5 ounces, and it was the same price. They never changed it. Oh, as a matter of fact, because it went up to $12.98. I don't know if you remember this, but it went up to $12.98, and then I thought something was funny when I saw the regular price drop down to $11.98. which to this day it's still $11.98, but better believe that's going to be going up in price. And then we saw, because it's the same canisters. It's what I've been talking about. It's the same canister, right? The same size to fool the eyes, okay? And then they just took some out of it. 43.5 ounces now is all you get in that Folgers for the same daggone price. Now, they did have a big sale on it, right? It was down to $9.98. I hope everybody was able to stock up on Folgers while it was on sale at Sam's Club. That was a great deal for the times. Better believe that's going to be going up in price. They offer the deal. It settles for a minute, goes back up to the regular price. Something is going to happen. And now it has happened to Maxwell House. It has shrunk in size. And some of the smaller ones, I don't really know. I always pay attention to like the ones that people always talk about on the channel. The Original Roast is one that always comes up in the comments that I pay attention to. So that's the one. But there are other ones that have gotten smaller. I don't know what the sizes of those were. So I know that the Maxwell House one at Sam's Club, I believe it's about 40 ounces, I think. I think it's right about 40 ounces. Okay. And for right around $10, I think it's $10.98. Okay. Might not be a bad idea. Even if you don't have a Sam's Club membership, go with a friend or anybody you know that has a Sam's Club membership. If you drink Maxwell House or any coffee for that matter, you may want to pay or take a visit with one of your friends to Sam's Club or get to Sam's Club and make sure you're stocking up on some coffee, because that is going to be an issue. We've been seeing coffee go up for months. They've been very slight increases, right? You can't just raise it like crazy or people are just going to quit drinking it. People in the coffee business know this, okay? Now, shockingly enough, we saw all kinds of price increases at Walmart on coffee all at once, right? So it came down to either Walmart saying, well, we don't really have a choice. We sell a lot of this stuff. We make a huge amount of money, but the manufacturer might be charging us more. Keyword is might. I don't really know. You know, I'm not pointing the finger at Walmart, not pointing the finger at manufacturer or any of this. There's a lot of things at play. Okay, they have to buy new cars too. They have to buy new houses. They have to pay their rent as well. Okay, so, and I'm not saying, that the trillionaires shouldn't get, I'm not blaming nobody. I'm blaming the entire thing that keeps growing. No matter how it is, no matter how it happens, prices continue to go up, and I do not believe things are leveling off by any means. We've seen higher, and I know people are going to say things are out of season and all that stuff, okay? Bear with me for a second. Prices on produce have been the highest that they've ever been. Ever. Whether in season or out of season. Okay, now you could say, well, the reason why apples are so expensive right now is because they're out of season. They're in season in the fall. The funny thing is that we didn't really find that great of deals in the fall, okay? And now all of a sudden we're finding Honeycrisp apples for $1.49 a pound or $1.99 a pound. Back in the fall, they were $3.49 a pound. Now you could say, well, these have been stored for a while. They're just trying to get rid of them. Yeah, okay. I mean, that could, that's true. But then you got Fuji apples, right? 99 cents a pound. Pretty much everywhere right now. And it's like, we're finding sales on those. But then we start seeing things like, and we're finding some good deals right now. Okay, we're finding some, finally grapes seem like they're starting to go on sale a little bit. Grapes have been way overpriced. Way overpriced. Strawberries up until like the last month were stupid overpriced. For the season, for the time of year that they should be cheaper. Look at watermelon. Watermelon, they're in season. And they've been ridiculously overpriced. $7.99 on sale, down from $8.99. That's ridiculous. Now, we've seen mangoes come down a little bit, I guess. The cheapest ones I've seen are probably Aldi. We saw them at Aldi for 69 cents a piece. That's the cheapest anywhere. That may be the cheapest I've seen. Did I say watermelon? I meant mangoes. Hopefully I said mangoes. Anyway, we've been seeing them a little cheaper, but now we're starting to see them go back up. So for the second, that's why we point out the sales as I see them, so that hopefully you see this, you're like, oh, Well, I like mangoes. I better get there and buy them up so I'm not paying $1.67 now that the price just went back up at Kroger, regular price. And before that, it was getting ridiculous. Remember, they were like $2.49 a piece. Crazy. People are like, well, they're out of season. I'm like, in or out of season, that's the most a mango has ever cost ever. And you could say drought or this or that, and you just don't buy it, I guess, But anyway, some of these different shortages that we're seeing, I was kind of getting off track there, but I had a lot to talk about in this coffee rant. A lot of the shortages that you guys have been discussing, I've been taking notes and checking in our stores to see if they have them. Now, it hasn't been as big of an issue here, but we are starting to see another issue with distilled white vinegar. Somebody mentioned Ball Mason jars, okay? Now, I thought of this because of the distilled white vinegar and canning and all that stuff. And I have seen distilled white vinegar where it's been very low, but it seems like it continues to be low. An interesting thing, though, is I've noticed that Ball Mason jars around here have been low or out in some stores, which is telling me that maybe a lot more people are canning these days because they're trying to save as much money as they can, right? Now, when you find a good deal, if you have, a food saver machine or things like this, you find a good deal on meat. There's a couple of viewers on our channel that literally go in on like a whole cow and then they vacuum seal their meat. Now, we're able to do that at home. We've had friends that we could do that before, but a good longtime viewer of ours actually sent us a food saver machine, and it is awesome. Thank you. Big shout out to Castle Circle. That was really awesome. Really awesome of you, buddy. And it is an awesome machine. We'll maybe do a video on that at some point. Just been really busy with some other things right now. We need to make sure that we're paying attention to everything else as well, like all these other things. Because right now, as we're talking about these products that we're having trouble finding, there could be other things going away too. We've had a lot of comments about bread. I didn't go over it at Walmart the other day because our bread section at our Walmart really isn't that big anyway. Now, they had great value bread, but I was kind of shocked by how low some of the other breads were. Even Sara Lee, and they're usually fully stacked because that's the most expensive bread, and I don't feel like many people buy it anymore unless it's on sale, which that's pretty rare. Jams and peanut butter. Let's talk about that for a second. Now, these things have been flying off the shelves, and we've been seeing prices go up. Okay, we just saw where Walmart's big things of peanut butter went up 50 cents. They were $5.98, and now they're $6.47. Okay, so we saw where the smaller ones went up to $1.94. Okay, but that was the last price increase. So I'm expecting those to go up soon because the big one just went up 50 cents. I wouldn't be surprised if the smaller one goes up 10 or 20 cents. I believe this. I try to compare like store brands and stuff because Kroger's, I believe, is still $2.29 for their 16-ounce jars of peanut butter for their brand. I believe they're still $2.29. I'll have to check next time I go to Kroger, but all these things are inching up, guys. They're inching up. $3.95 for the bigger container of Peanut Delight at Aldi. That's the highest that's ever been. Okay, speaking of Aldi, I wanted to talk about a couple things at Aldi. Pasta is becoming an issue at Aldi. Even though it's not at ours, I did see where it was low, but a lot of our longtime viewers have been commenting on this one. A lot of the Regano spaghetti. Someone had even mentioned, when I had mentioned in another video, that your Aldi was completely out of Priano pasta, which is kind of shocking. Now, if they were out of the Regano too, I could see where people would start buying the Priano just because they didn't want to go to another store, right? So if you're out of this one, I could see where people would just buy this one even though it's a little more expensive. Priano spaghetti is really good. Regano's good too. Now, we've had at our Aldi where it's been wiped out of spaghetti. I remember there was a few weeks that went by some months back where it was gone. They had like the Priano, they were getting that in, but the cheaper Regano, they weren't. So it's an ongoing issue, guys. I mean, with events and whirlwind of events all around the country and around the world, different things going on, still ongoing issues with, the different Russian and Ukraine thing, that's as to where it may not be an enormous part of our products that we get. Everything has a domino effect, right? So if they cover 4% or whatever it is of the wheat in the world, that 4%, even though it may not be a huge percentage here in the United States, well, those other percentages are affecting other countries that are affecting other things that are affecting maybe more products that we are getting here, which some of it does affect us. I'm just saying, just kind of paraphrasing with everything going on. Different events, different things going on that are causing some stuff to be in short supply. Okay, and I don't want to go on too much about that. We've talked a lot about that in the past. But different pastas and stuff, we see some of the big name brands like Barilla, we see Cromet. Those continue to be plentiful, at least in the stores here in Cincinnati. The ones that people are always talking about are different store brands. Now, somebody who shops at, I believe it's Winn-Dixie, one of our longtime viewers was talking about not being able to find any of the SE Grocers brand, and that you haven't been able to find it in like a few weeks. Store brands are hit or miss. We see it with Walmart. Now, our Walmart surprisingly had more spaghetti than I had seen in a long time. Okay, that doesn't mean that it could go away in a week or two and not come back for a month. We've seen that happen. So, with SE Grocers, I don't know a lot about SE Grocers other than that's the, I guess, the brand, the cheaper brand that Winn-Dixie deals with or shops with. Because let me know, I'm not really sure. Is it their store brand? Is SE Grocers, is that Winn-Dixie's store brand? Like, do they own that? Or is that just someone that they, partner with for cheaper products? I don't really know, but let me know down in the comments. But I've heard good things about SE Grocer products, though. So not pasta per se, but I've heard some good things. And there's been some issues with. Haven't had any issues with Publix. As a matter of fact, people have commented no issues with Publix on pasta and stuff like that, breads, different things. Publix is expensive, and when you are charging top price, well, these are the ones that are going to be able to get the products quicker. That's why you don't see any shortages of produce at Publix, no shortages of canned goods or anything like that, because they cost a fortune. But you're getting good quality and you're paying a little more. I mean, and really that is what it comes down to. Well, it's sad to say, but that's really what it is. You go into a Publix, every time I've ever gone into a Publix, there'll be some holes in some things every now and then I've seen over the years, but the biggest thing is the prices. The prices can get pretty expensive. From my perspective of being able to find great deals, and you can find good deals at Publix, but it's like the store's always full. It's always full. And then I look at the things that are traditionally missing at some of our stores here in Cincinnati, because we don't have Publix yet, even though one is moving about 30 minutes south of here. So I will plan on visiting it. But there's always a lot of product. I mean, there's always a ton. But you start looking at things like coffee and stuff like that at Publix, it is like way overpriced. I see our stores getting to those prices here eventually. I was seeing prices of those small bags of Starbucks for like $13.99 at Publix, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh, like that's why I talk about stocking up. That's why we stock up on these things. So if that happens, well, at least I got enough to get by until I get the next whatever the best sale is. So, I don't know, guys. Stock up on items. Fill up your pantry with things at a cheaper price, because who knows what the prices are going to be like next week or even tomorrow, guys. I know I have ranted long enough here. Just trying to see if there's anything else. Have to save that for another coffee rant. Let me know down below anything that you're noticing shortages of. What are you noticing that has really gone up in price, or something that has shrinkflated? Let us know down in the comments. I'm going to leave a video right here for you to click on of a video that's very relevant to this, of different shortage items that we need to be adding to our pantry. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Check this video out. Have a great night.